Hi everyone, my name is Bethany and I, along with my husband Sean, run Trash Pandas Thrift. We are a six-figure reselling business, and here on this YouTube channel, we share with you all of our tips, tricks, and experiences, also that you can start and grow your very own reselling business too. Today is a super exciting day. I have a really fun haul to share with you guys. It is going to be a vintage inspired and style based haul for you guys, with some vintage bolos that are absolutely insane and some style bolos as well. I've been trying to continue these types of vintage hauls every single week because I know that you guys love them, and I'm super biased because, not gonna lie, this is my absolute favorite haul to record for you guys as well. Vintage is a love of mine. It's a favorite of all of the categories that we sell here at Trash Pandas Thrift. And if you're new here, we sell a lot of different categories. We sell great brands. We do a lot of style-based sourcing, which is going to be a ton of what you're going to see today. We sell vintage. We wholesale kids' clothes. We wholesale trendy clothes. We even sell on Whatnot. So this is a small glimpse into what we source, and I selected these vintage pieces keeping in mind what you guys could find in your area and maybe even source for your businesses as well. Okay, let's dive right in. Today really is a day of favorites. It really, really is, because look at what we're starting with. I mean, come on. She deserves no explanation. She needs no introduction. When do you ever not need a cat lover's Sherpa jacket in your life? Absolutely stunning. It is an all over print, which is actually, I'm going to keep doing actual useful information now. That is a really great keyword to use. All over print with those cats absolutely everywhere. Cat lover, animal lover, those are all great keywords too as well. So when I saw this, and let me show you the tag, vintage Winoka, made in the USA, which also adds value. And I dated it to around the 90s. It is such a fuzzy, soft Sherpa. This is my favorite of the whole haul. I actually do have quite a few favorites, unfortunately. So this, however, we had to start right out with. I look for anything animal print, anything animal inspired, especially animals that people really love. Huge following. I'm a cat lover. I would keep this myself. Like, this is something I personally would seek out and wear and would pay more because it's vintage, it's unique, it's one of a kind. And other buyers are completely the same way. So I was so excited to find this. All right, next up, still outerwear, but we're toning it down a little bit. This is a little bit more sophisticated. This beautiful lady is a stunning art-to-wear coat. It is made in Italy, so it actually has no brand. And it's not vintage per se, but it's a great example of quality sourcing that is almost inspired by vintage textures and fabrics. What do I mean by that? So when I picked this up, I noticed immediately the patchwork. Beautiful patchwork detail on her. It almost looks like a work of art. When I feel that way about a piece, that usually indicates to me it's art to wear or lag and look. Plus, it's made in Italy, and I love finding made in Italy art to wear and lag and look pieces. So I was super stoked to find this. She's also really great quality materials. She's a wool blend, which I also was super excited about as well. Types of pieces like this, I could see listed online for upwards of $60 or $70. Truly, they're unique pieces. And just like the first one, people love that. That is a selling factor. I always am looking for unique pieces, whether that means all over cat prints or stunning art to wear pieces. They're both unique in their own way. Next up, this is a beauty. I took out the wooden hanger for. Isn't she stunning? You can't see the bottom, but look at her. She's absolutely stunning. It is a maxi floral dress. Here's the tag. It is vintage from Lee Stevens. Here you go. Stunning. So I have dated her to approximately late 70s, maybe early 80s, but I'm thinking the 70s, and she is a stunning 70s maxi beauty. This screams a keyword called flower power. We've talked about this in other haul videos, but even a lot of the Y2K style pieces you'll notice that especially the ones that I pick up, because they sell really well, they're 70s inspired. So true vintage 70s is having such a comeback right now. Think about all your favorite 1970s dresses and formal wear being worn in today's age, in 2024, as dresses in street style in New York City, in San Francisco, in LA. That is when I thought of this beautiful piece. Mix it up, and oh my God, I could see someone walking down the street of LA with some cowboy boots on. Stunning, absolutely stunning. People love true vintage like this type of piece, and I cannot resist a 1970s floral dress. So maybe I take it back. Maybe this piece is my favorite, not the first one, or they're tied. I don't know. Either way, these are pieces you absolutely need to look out for in your area. These true vintage 70s dresses can be worth quite a lot of money as well. All right. Here is speaking of Y2K, here is a 90s and Y2K bolo for you guys. It's actually a cross neck, so it's a little hard for me to hold up. So I'm gonna put her on a hanger. Okay. The hanger is so not doing her justice right now, but like hopefully you can see the vision. Oh my God. Okay. This is stunning. So this is supposed to be like a little mock neck with a cutout at the neck. That's because it's a super grunge goth Y2K piece from a bolo I love to find. It's called Morgan de Toy. I love, love, love finding her pieces, especially when they're in very dark, feminine styles like this one. Gorgeous, stretchy piece. It's got that very fitted, stretchy fabric to her, so she's gonna have that dark feminine edge to her. Super grunge, super Y2K, and such an on-trend look, coupled with being a vintage bolo brand. I was so happy to find her. I really wish I found this tag more often. And honestly, I found this one in an old bin at the Goodwill outlet, which is where all of these pieces have come from. All of these pieces are actually from the Goodwill outlet, which meant that a lot of people had been through that bin before, and they just, either they saw it, they didn't love it, or they saw it and they didn't know that it was a vintage bolo. And that's why I always take a second look, even if it's a screaming flower power dress or just a very simple black statement piece. Both I take a second look at, and I try to look at the tags. Before I even look at the tags, I'm feeling the actual quality of the material. Like this one, that's a really great example. This is that item I like to have in every haul that has no brand. This has no brand at all. These are a pair of 100% linen overalls in a really good color. What do I mean by that? So it's a really nice brown, almost like a brown gray color. This brown gray color is a super earthy neutral. By earthy, I mean literally of the earth, like the color of soil. When I see a super earthy color like this, I cannot help but think of cottagecore, of farmcore, even goblincore. Those are all great keywords I would use for this. And suddenly it's not just a unbranded linen overall, it's a cottagecore, it's a barncore, it's a goblincore pair of linen overalls. And that is how you create value from nothing without even a brand tag. It's why pieces like these are truly even more exciting than finding true vintage, because there is so much just like value that you can see in a true vintage piece. And then when you see kind of pieces that are inspired by vintage, of course, like I could see this being a vintage 90s piece, right? If it did have a tag, but it doesn't. And that is how you place value on an item in a way that truly comes from style-based sourcing, no matter what category it's in, vintage or otherwise. That's why I always include style-based items in with vintage, because truly it's the same thing. I'm looking for quality no matter what. All right. Speaking of quality, this is a gorgeous little lingerie cami. Oh, she's so pretty. Lingerie is some of my favorite vintage to find. They're usually so tiny, which means at the Goodwill outlet, I'm paying nothing, maybe like 20, 25 cents. This bad boy weighs like 2 ounces. I don't even think it has a tag. Wow, another one that doesn't have a tag. However, this looks identical to a tank top, a lingerie cami that I have found from Vintage Vanity Fair Most of these tiny little tank tops I find are vintage Vanity Fair, so I wouldn't be surprised if it was. I picked this up number one. It's just such a feminine detail, and lingerie inspired pieces are so on trend right now. They have been for a few years, but it's only increasing in popularity. Plus, number two, the color. The color is so feminine. It is screaming coquette. It's screaming fairy. So not only is it lingerie, it's super pink in a way that's also Y2K. It's super pink in a way that's also coquette. And that adds a ton of value on top of a very tiny little cami top that otherwise, if you looked at it, you didn't have those keywords, maybe would not be worth as much. But with those keywords, this little 20-cent piece can jump into a $25, maybe even $30 sale. I could see it as. Okay. Ooh, this is a good one. Next up, this is a really nice dress. I don't know why I have so many unbranded pieces today. Oh no. Okay, this is another unbranded item. Hear me out. I am not scared by no brand tag. This is why you shouldn't be either. This screams celestial. It screams the TV show Charmed. I'm obsessed with Charmed. I watched a lot of it as a kid. And this just like absolutely screams that to me. It screams witchy. It screams whimsigoth. It screams 90s and Y2K, celestial print, sun and moon and stars. I have been sourcing like a madman for the last 2-ish years, and it has increased in popularity tenfold this year, especially right now. This is a print and a style I look out for no matter what, which means I did not need a brand tag because this is whimsigoth witchy dress. No brand needed. All right. Next up. So in a different haul, I told you guys something about mesh long sleeves. How mesh long sleeves, specifically Y2K mesh long sleeves, can be worth a lot of money. There are specific vintage designers that are known for their mesh long sleeves. This is kind of like an inspired piece of that. It is Y2K. It is actually Miami ink. It's most likely, though, not like vintage Y2K. It's like 2010 Y2K, which is still Y2K, but it's not vintage. However, this screams, look at that. Look at the back. Like, there's so much going on here. I don't even know where to start. Number one, there's flames, there's a snake, there's a devil, there's skulls. It is just everything all at once. This is a little tag. It is new with tags as well. This is a Y2K all over mesh long sleeve. Those are all keywords I would use. I would also add grunge. I'd also add goth. And wow, like this is such a good piece because this is easily something I would list at 40 plus. And again, it was an old bin. No one wanted this piece either. It's not designer. It's not even name brand. It's not even like J. Crew, right? It doesn't matter. This style speaks for itself. The style is truly what sells pieces like these. I love this. So I had to bring it into today's haul. All right. We got a lot of uniques today. I'm just going to warn you right now before I show you the other side of this. I look for anything unique, and that means sometimes I find things a little bit different, a little bit out there, and out there sells, okay? And this little beauty is stunning. It is a little denim mini skirt. This is, again, not vintage. It is vintage inspired. There's a pretty popular vintage artist and line of vintage t-shirts that has this very popular cat print that looks almost like this. I actually saw one today at the Goodwill outlet. It was so stained that I couldn't pick it up, but it reminded me I had this waiting to be prepped, so I jumped it in today's haul. There is a little tapestry print. This tapestry on denim plus the sequins is mixed media. That's a really great keyword. Cat lover, Y2K, retro, all keywords I would throw in. This is a great example of a unique piece that honestly is not even... It's not Shein, but it has no tags, and I am pretty sure it was just probably sold on a boutique brand like Nasty Gal. And that doesn't matter to me because I know the style alone is what is going to sell this bad boy. I actually posted this on my Instagram, and I had multiple people reach out to me and ask me what size it was or if it was available. And that just goes to show you guys that honestly, People love unique items, and I'm glad to know it's not just me. It is the buyers. It's buyers on social media. It's buyers on eBay, buyers on Depop, buyers on Poshmark, especially. It is a truth across all platforms. All right, next up. This is a 100% silk little cami top. Super beautiful silk chiffon. It is Y2K from Max Studio. I love, love, love finding Y2K Max Studio. I don't think I've mentioned that on a vintage or Y2K haul before. This is one of my favorite brands. They make a lot of really nice silk pieces, especially 90s and Y2K silk pieces. And 90s and Y2K silk pieces, tops, skirts, dresses, anything, I am there for, because it's just so many different ways for you to advertise a piece like this. It's fairy, it's coquette, it fits into so many different style aesthetics, and it is so on trend. A tiny little cami top can be such a substantial piece, and something that I probably paid 50 cents for at the Goodwill outlet can turn into a $30 sale. Not because of a great brand, but because of great keywords plus a knowledge of Y2K style. Y2K is hot, you guys. This is a great example, and it's not going away. All right. Next up, here's some more 90s and Y2K. This is an example of what I look for in dresses. So this is a 90s and Y2K. Actually, it's a prom dress. It's a vintage prom dress from Speed. Let me show you the little tag. There you go. Speed, USA. So this is such a delicate little fairy is a great keyword. Fairy maxi gown. These types of gowns with a mesh, a tulle, or a chiffon overlay like this one is stunning. And they're a great example of fairy Y2K bolos, especially when it comes to like homecoming is a great event that's actually going on right now for different schools. This is the blueprint. Homecoming, prom, modern events that a lot of younger adults are going to, even weddings. When you have a wedding guest event, instead of going out and buying a new style, people are searching out 90s and Y2K style dresses just like this. So a piece like this could be listed upwards of $60, $70, which is insane for a vintage Y2K dress. So I love finding these. They're some of my favorite categories to look for. Next up, another dress. This one's a little bit of a different style though. I do really like jumping in between cottagecore and fairy and then grunge and goth to show you guys a different range of vintage, because I pick it all up. I truly do. There's a buyer for every style aesthetic. You just need to know, what does that buyer want? And someone who wants grunge and goth and very 90s Y2K outfits wants this. This is a velvet zip-up mock neck 90s Y2K dress, and it's actually vintage Banana Republic. Another one I really, really love to find in 90s and Y2K pieces. So again, it's velvet. Velvet is so good for right now. It's witchy, it's grunge, it's goth. So many keywords can work for this. It is a great vintage style piece. All right. Next up, from grunge back to coquette. I told you guys I love vintage nightgowns, vintage lingerie. This, oh, I forgot how to pronounce this. I know what this is called, but I forgot how to pronounce it. It is a peignoir, P-E-I-G-N-O-R. I'm definitely gonna look that up after I finish recording and be like, oh yeah, that's how you pronounce that. But this is stunning. It's a type of nightgown or lingerie item where it kind of has two little bows or any other type of bow or kind of clip in the front. Beautiful puff sleeves. It's kind of like a open front nightgown is how I love to look at these. I cannot explain to you how many people I see wearing these out on top of little jean skirts, on top of like midi skirts, and wearing this as like an overdress, layering the same way people did in the 2000s, but this time kind of with an edge to it, with lingerie being added in. This is a huge trend. Lingerie, slip dresses, the whole 9 yards. And this one is also really beautiful. It has little coquette flower appliques all over it. I actually think it's unbranded. Oh, wow. It is unbranded, huh? It is most likely union made. It is most likely from the 70s or the 80s. She is stunning. Great coquette cottagecore fairy piece. I love these types of lingerie pieces. All right. Okay, here is a more fairy grunge option. This is a little Y2K top. This is a baby doll top. These are my favorite Y2K tops to find. It is from Bayer, California, AGB. I like all of Bayer, California and their subdivisions when they're Y2K and 90s, like A Bayer, AGB, Bayer, California. This one is a stunning little tie front. It's got that V-neck baby doll neckline, nice mesh overlay. Such a great Y2K baby doll fairy grunge top example. Again, something that everyone else left in a bin. There was a ton of vintage Y2K this day. And I guess no one else really, like, to be fair, it was a pretty quiet day. So I look at this and I know that some other people might not see it, but this is a $30 sale. This is truly a $30 sale. This is a stunning classic Y2K baby doll top. Such an easy Y2K sale because it is so on trend right now. I love Y2K and I do love all vintage, but Y2K is having a moment for sure. All right, next up. This is not vintage. However, it is style based and is vintage inspired. This is stunning. Look at her. I cannot, with these like dark little witchy pieces, I'm having such a blast sourcing them. This is from Vivid. Stunning open front, kind of like a waterfall sequin. It's so stunning. The sequins have a waterfall effect to them. Stunning. All of the whimsigoth, witchy keywords come into play. Goth and grunge and all of the goodies. Such an on-trend piece, especially for right now. And the entire year, whimsigoth has been so on trend. So anything like this, again, weighs nothing. Even at a retail thrift store, you're looking at a cost of goods at probably $4 or $5. Easily $25 to $30 sale. This is bread and butter for me. Not like, yes, J.Crew. I keep saying J.Crew. I pick on J.Crew all the time, but I love it. I don't know another bread and butter item. Insert your bread and butter item, and then it could be unbranded, or it could be vintage, or it can be style-based. That's my bread and butter, and it has been for years, and it is so fun. It's so much fun. Like, I was trying to use another adjective, but all I can think of is fun. I truly love it, and it's why I love showing you guys this kind of stuff. All right, and I got two more pieces to show you. Here is such a good one. I love this one. I would have kept this one actually if it was my size. So it is vintage. There's only one tag. It's this little dry clean only tag. She is most likely from the 90s. There's no other tag. Stunning. Look at that plaid maxi skirt. So this is a plaid knit maxi skirt. Knit plus plaid? I cannot. So this is so academia, dark academia, all of the 90s and Y2K vibes. That length is super substantial, and I would upcharge a ton because it's a maxi length. Really great style-based piece. That length gives a lot of extra value to it as well. I love sourcing academia. Okay. And I got one more for you. This is a goodie too. So this is actually going to be vintage Anthropologie. Maybe not vintage, but close to it. It's Y2K Anthropologie for sure. Maybe like 2005. This is Weston wear. Sold in Anthropologie. Here's your little tag. And this one is actually dead stock. By that, I mean it's new with tags. It is made in the USA. Look at that cute little made in USA tag. This is what I mean when I say mesh and grunge, fairy grunge pieces. This is a really cute kind of asymmetric neckline. It is a midi dress. It's new with tags, which adds a ton of value, and that mesh. Y2K and mesh is a love story. I love finding Y2K mesh items, whether it's long sleeves or dresses, because then this is whimsigoth, it's Y2K, it's witchy, stunning piece. I was super excited to find her as well. Plus that ruching is super flattering. I love this type of ruching personally on dresses that I own. So I really like to see that on, actually it's coming back in style now in what designers are making. So of course it's also something that adds value in Y2K items, and that's what I like to think about. All right. That was all that I had for you guys today. That was my vintage inspired, style-based haul. Let me know if you guys like this kind of video, and I will definitely continue it week to week. If you guys want, why don't you go ahead and let me know what item was your favorite in this haul, and what was your item that you thrifted this week that was your favorite thrifted item. It can be anything. I honestly just like to live vicariously through everyone. I love seeing everyone's thrift finds as well and showing mine. So go ahead and tell me your favorite thrift find of the week. If you like this video, let me know, and I will definitely do more vintage hauls in the future. This is the kind of content that I think the reselling community needs, because there is such a opportunity when it comes to vintage inspired and style-based items. It is scary and at first, but boy, it is so lucrative and so fun and opens up a whole new world in reselling. So if you guys like this video, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. Thanks so much for watching.